Everybody deserves to eat. Not everybody deserves to eat at your table. Who you invest your time with and spend your time with, is it valuable? Or are you just wasting time?
Wow.
Don't waste your time. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. Every moment should be accounted for. You should feel great about. You learned something. If you're not learning, you're dying.
Welcome to Self-Mastery Labs. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Who are the people in your life that truly deserve a seat at your table? Listen up, folks. Not everybody deserves a seat at your table. Yeah, you heard me right. It's time to get picky about who you're breaking bread with. Are you surrounding yourself with people who push you to grow, or are you just collecting human participation trophies? Let's face it, most people let anyone and everyone crowd around their table. Old friends, distant family members, random acquaintances, they're all here, demanding your time, your energy, your attention. And guess what? Most of them are bringing nothing but empty calories to the meal. They're there to eat up your time, soak up your support, and drain your mental energy, leaving you with nothing but crumbs of regret. So the question is, why are you letting these people take a seat at your table if they're not bringing anything valuable to the meal? Ask yourself, are the people you surround yourself with actually helping you grow? Or are they holding you back, distracting you, weighing you down with their own baggage? Some of them are probably more like dead weight than inspiration. You've got one life and one table, so why fill it with people who aren't making you better, who aren't pushing you forward, who aren't challenging you to level up? Studies show that our social circles impact everything, from our mental health to our financial success. Psychologists call this social influence, and it's more powerful than most people realize. You become like the people you spend the most time with. So if you're hanging around with a bunch of pessimists, procrastinators, or plain energy vampires, guess what? That's what you're absorbing. Their bad habits, their limited mindsets, their why try attitudes. Is that what you want? Are these people making you sharper, or are they dulling your edge? The hard truth is that life's too short to surround yourself with people who bring no value. So make no apologies. You have every right to be selective, to reserve your energy, your insights, and your loyalty for people who've earned it. You wouldn't hand out the keys to your house to just anyone, so why are you handing out a seat at your table like it's a freebie? It's time to set some standards. Start asking yourself the hard questions. Who is actually helping me become who I want to be? Who is pushing me to take risks, to think bigger, to work harder? Make no mistake, when you start getting selective, people will notice. They might call you selfish or arrogant. They might whine that you've changed. Well, let them. People who truly value you will understand, and the rest, they were just there for the free ride. Your time, energy, and attention are valuable. It's about time you started acting like it. Chapter 2. How can you start being more intentional with your time starting today? Let's talk about time. That precious, non-renewable resource we all love to waste. Every tick of the clock is a moment you'll never get back. So, are you investing it wisely, or are you treating time like it's an endless buffet? The way most people burn through their time is nothing short of tragic. They waste it on mindless scrolling, gossip, binge watching, and 100 other pointless distractions. And then they look around, wondering why they're unfulfilled, why they're still stuck in the same place. Here's the brutal truth. If you're not being intentional with your time, you're actively sabotaging your own future. Every single minute you let slip by unaccounted for is one less minute you have to chase your dreams, build your empire, or become the person you want to be. Research confirms it. Successful people guard their time ferociously. They don't let it be wasted by anyone, including themselves. They know that every minute invested in growth compounds, creating more success, more knowledge, more opportunity. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is out there, casually throwing their time away like it's a cheap trinket. So here's the wake-up call. Time is limited, and no one's handing out more of it. It's not like money where you can always hustle for more if you're low. Once it's gone for good. You wouldn't throw $100 bills into the trash, so why are you doing it with your time? Start treating it like it's priceless, because it is. Be intentional with every moment you spend, every interaction you have, every decision you make. Look at your daily schedule. How much of it is actually moving you closer to your goals, and how much of it is just filler? Start trimming the fat, cut out the trivial, eliminate the noise. Being intentional with your time isn't just about squeezing productivity out of every second. It's about aligning your life with your true priorities. When you know what you want, you know what deserves your time and what doesn't. It's about setting boundaries, saying no more often, and refusing to let distractions dictate your day. Let's get one thing straight. This isn't a rehearsal. This is your only shot at today. So are you going to let it slip through your fingers, or are you going to use it to build something real? Chapter 3. What's one relationship or activity in your life that's not contributing to your growth? Here's a wake-up call. If you're not learning, you're dying. Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. Every interaction, every conversation, every moment should be an opportunity to grow. If you're not walking away from an experience feeling like you've gained something, you're doing it wrong. Let's be real. A lot of people and activities in your life are dead weight. They're not pushing you, they're not inspiring you, and they're certainly not helping you grow. They're just there, filling up space, taking up time. And you let it happen because, well, it's easier than cutting ties or saying goodbye. But here's the thing, every second you spend on something that doesn't contribute to your growth is a second wasted. And once that second is gone, you can't get it back. When was the last time you asked yourself if a relationship or habit was actually adding value to your life? We get comfortable with routines and familiar faces, even if they're holding us back. But if you're serious about growth, it's time to take a hard look at the people and activities you're investing in. Studies have shown that people who intentionally choose relationships that challenge and inspire them tend to achieve higher levels of success and satisfaction. But that doesn't happen by accident. It happens because they cut out the dead weight. Are you hanging out with people who fuel your growth, or people who are content staying in the same place forever? Are you spending your time in ways that expand your mind, or are you drowning in meaningless habits that make you feel good in the moment but add zero value to your life? Growth isn't something that just happens while you're busy staying comfortable. Growth demands discomfort, change, and sometimes even a little sacrifice. If there's a person, a hobby, or a habit in your life that isn't contributing to who you want to be, it's time to reevaluate. You have to be willing to let go of anything that doesn't push you forward. This might mean distancing yourself from a friend who's always dragging you into negativity, or maybe it's a nightly TV binge that does nothing but numb your mind. Whatever it is, if it's not adding to your growth, it's taking from it. Remember, the goal isn't to be ruthless for the sake of it. It's to create room for what matters. If you're surrounded by dead weight, you won't have the capacity to embrace people, projects, and experiences that actually make you better. So take a look at your life and start pruning. This is about making space for growth. It's about saying no to stagnation, to complacency, and to anything that isn't propelling you toward your goals. And once you start focusing on the things that actually drive your growth, you'll be amazed at how much lighter and stronger you feel. Chapter 4. Are you being intentional with your time, or are you just going through the motions? So let's get real. Are you being intentional with your time, or are you just going through the motions? It's time to take a hard look at your calendar and your contacts list. Who's adding value to your life and who's just taking up space? Let's talk about the trap most people fall into, living on autopilot. They go to work, come home, scroll through social media, binge watch a show, rinse and repeat. And they wonder why they're not progressing, why their goals feel out of reach, why they feel like they're stuck in a loop. Newsflash, if you're not actively directing your time toward what matters to you, you're not just stuck, you're stalling. Living passively is a surefire way to wake up years down the road and realize you've been standing still. Research backs it up. People who practice intentionality and structure in their daily lives report higher levels of life satisfaction and achievement. So, are you directing each day with intention, or are you giving away your hours to people and things that don't push you forward? Look at the time you spend scrolling, the conversations that go nowhere, the people who drain your energy. Every minute you invest in these activities is a minute you'll never get back, and worse, it's a minute that could have gone to something that truly matters. The hard truth is, if you don't start valuing your time like the precious commodity it is, no one else will. The people in your life who waste your time whether intentionally or not, don't have your goals in mind. They have their own. They're perfectly fine soaking up your hours, your attention, your energy, because it serves their needs, not yours. So let's be blunt here. If someone's taking up space without adding value, it's time to ask yourself why they're still in your life. Is this a friend who pushes you to be better, or someone who's just around for convenience? Is this a work relationship that challenges you and helps you grow, or one that only adds stress to your day? Start with a simple exercise. Take a hard look at how you spent yesterday. Go ahead, break it down, every hour, every activity. Was it moving you closer to the life you want, or was it just filling up time, giving you the illusion of productivity without any real value? When you do this honestly, you'll see exactly where your time is slipping away, and I guarantee you'll find gaps you didn't even realize were there. You owe it to yourself to protect your time fiercely. Just as you wouldn't let someone rob you of money, you shouldn't let anyone steal your time. If your calendar is full of obligations that add zero value, it's time for a purge. Start cutting out the noise. Prioritize activities that align with your goals and say goodbye to anything that doesn't. The minute you start being intentional with your time, you'll notice a shift. You'll feel more in control, more energized, and more focused. And here's the thing, people will notice. When you start respecting your own time, they'll start respecting it too. People who don't add value will fall away naturally. Those who do will rise to meet your new standards. It's a powerful change, and it's worth every uncomfortable conversation, every moment of self-discipline, and every no you'll have to say. Being intentional with your time isn't a one-time decision, it's a daily practice. It means checking in with yourself and asking, is this moving me closer to where I want to be? Make it a habit to audit your time, to recalibrate, to refocus. Because if you're serious about success, you don't have time to waste on distractions. Time is ticking. Are you moving forward, or are you just filling up your calendar? Chapter 5. What's one time-wasting habit you need to cut out of your life immediately? Remember, your time is your most valuable asset. Treat it like the precious commodity it is. Be selective, be intentional, and for goodness sake, be willing to say no to the things and people that aren't serving your growth. Let's get brutally honest. Everyone has a habit that's eating up their time with zero return on investment. Maybe it's social media, endlessly scrolling through people's highlight reels while your own life remains on hold. Or maybe it's watching TV, binging show after show because it's easier than facing your own goals. Or perhaps it's a toxic relationship that does nothing but drain you, yet you keep investing in it because it's comfortable. Here's a reality check. Every minute you spend on these time wasters is a minute you'll never get back. Time is the one currency you can't earn more of, so why are you wasting it on things that don't matter? Studies have shown that people who remove distractions from their lives, especially digital distractions, report higher levels of productivity, mental clarity, and overall satisfaction. Because when you're not letting yourself be constantly interrupted, you actually have the bandwidth to pursue things that matter. Yet, here we are, in an era where people check their phones an average of 96 times a day. That's 96 moments you've let slip away without any gain. Are you going to let that continue, or are you going to take control? Cutting out time-wasting habits isn't just a nice idea, it's essential if you want to get anywhere in life. Think about it this way. Every hour you spend on mindless distractions is an hour stolen from your dreams. And no, that's not an exaggeration. When you finally muster the courage to quit a habit that's dragging you down, you'll find yourself with a surprising amount of extra time. Time you can use to work on your goals, build valuable relationships, and take steps toward the life you've always wanted. But let's be clear, breaking a habit isn't easy. If it were, everyone would do it. Cutting out a time waster is going to take discipline, consistency, and a whole lot of uncomfortable moments, but the rewards are worth it. Imagine what you could accomplish if you weren't constantly pulled away by trivial things. Imagine having uninterrupted blocks of time to think, to create, to actually do the things you've been talking about for years. So, let's get specific. What's your time-wasting habit? What's that one thing you know deep down is holding you back? Pick it out, name it, and commit to cutting it from your life starting now. If it's social media, delete the app from your phone. If it's a TV addiction, set a strict limit on your screen time. If it's a person who's bringing you down, it's time to distance yourself. Whatever it is, you know what needs to be done. This isn't about depriving yourself, it's about freeing yourself. Every time wasting habit you let go of opens up space for something far more valuable. The moment you start protecting your time is the moment you start unlocking your potential. You'll find yourself with more energy, more focus, and more drive. It's like shedding dead weight. Suddenly, you're lighter, faster, and better equipped to take on whatever comes your way. So don't wait. Cut the habit today and start reclaiming your life 1 minute at a time. The world is full of distractions, but your time is precious. You get one shot at this life. Don't waste it on things that don't matter. Alright, you made it to the end. Now, here's the real question. Who's actually sitting at your table? Think about it. Who's taking up seats without bringing anything to the meal? Who's just draining your time like it's a bottomless well? And yeah, I know you know exactly who I'm talking about. The real question is, are you gonna do anything about it? Here's the deal, life's too short for dead weight. So what are you doing to cut out the fluff and make sure every single moment counts? Are you surrounding yourself with people who fuel your growth, or are you letting just anyone hang around? Because if you're not intentional about it, if you're not ruthless about who and what you let into your life, you're the one left paying the price in wasted time, lost opportunities, and stalled growth. But hey, enough talk. Now it's time for action. So here's my challenge to you. Think about one relationship or habit that's holding you back. What's it going to take for you to finally cut it loose? Are you ready to reclaim your time, your energy, and your life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What's the one seat at your table that needs to be cleared out for good? And before you go, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more real conversations like this. If you're ready to take control of your time, your growth, and your relationships, stick around. This is your community, your journey. So let's make it count.